You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
You feel pain you never imagined in life. You're trapped, running forever.
I know it. It all sounds like some bad movie.
The Devil and Max Devlin, which was my challenge to you, and I'm proud of myself because initially the only connection was, okay, Ghost Dad to Max Devlin, Bill Cosby. Not only is it Bill Cosby, it's Bill Cosby in a role in which no one can see him except the lead character.
Correct.
So I was like, wow, there's actually two links to this.
It's kind of a ripoff of the Oh God movies.
Three-
If you really think about it.
Oh, what they were trying to cash in on. Oh God, the Devil and Max Devlin is the first. Correct me if you or jump in if you already know this. The first PG Disney film.
Oh, I did not know that.
It was the first PG one. Disney was blazing new trails. They were, and you can tell by the film too. This is a time where they really didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
Disney was really like on the low end there. They were making shit, and the budget on this is nil. You can tell.
Yeah.
When you watch it.
Well,
and so it's the first PG film. You can tell because there's some like semi-swearing throughout the movie. They were trying to go for like a more sophisticated, like adult kids film crowd, and failed miserably.
yeah, they were going for the 12, 13 and up crowd, sure.
Mm-hmm. And this, they 3 or 4 months after they made this, Bill Cosby got greenlit for the Cosby Show.
That's right, because this was made in 81. I think Cosby Show 82?
82, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So this was the last feature film that he appeared in before Cosby Show, and there would only be 2 more that he would star in. I mean, leading roles.
Yeah.
'Cause he shared the top credit with Elliot Gould, so it was kind of like a supporting, but for both of them, even though he's only in it for like 15 minutes combined.
Yeah, he's not in it a lot at all.
Right. The only 2 feature films that Bill Cosby would lead in after this would be Leonard Part 6 and Ghost Dad.
Yep.
Right. Now,
So where to begin?
well, I can read you the IMDb plot.
Well, I mean, just in a nutshell, Elliot Gould is basically a slumlord.
Yeah.
And he's made a lot of bad decisions in his life. And
Well,
he
haven't we all?
Well, yeah. I mean, nothing too major, but they pretty much they do a little entrapment on him.
Right. Well, the funny thing too is they set him up as as evil landlord, but he's an asshole, but he's not that evil.
No, he's really not that evil.
He has strict rules that he abides to: no pets, no children. Okay, he won't.
No unnecessary improvements.
So he won't repaint the apartment. He won't take care of the ladies' cockroaches. But it's not like he's like killing old ladies and keeping their welfare checks. I mean, he's a douche.
Yeah.
But he's nowhere close to evil.
Well, as a matter of fact, when
My old boss,
yeah,
much eviler than Elliot Gould in this film.
he's chasing down a renter that owes him money, and this
The elder who could have been Bob Barker.
yeah,
Elderly guy in a blue jumpsuit.
yeah, and this little old lady, who obviously is working for the devil,
Obviously.
steps out and says, "Sir, can you cross me?" And he's like, "Out of my way, lady," and falls under a bus. And they all, Hare Krishnas come out and go,
Bus full of
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I was reading through some of the reviews online, and my favorite one was he in the review he says Elliot Gould chases the wayward tenant and is hit and struck dead by a bus full of Hare Krishnas, and that's as funny as the film gets. And it's true. That's the only part of the film where I didn't laugh, but I was like, oh, I get it. And that's the closest I came to chuckling from there on out.
Yeah.
At least-
Not really a funny film anyway, though.
No, there's no humor in this movie.
Really, none.
It's weird. This is the kind of film, because what happens is he goes to hell, and
He
apparently
goes to hell, and he's
Now-
surrounded by
now hang on before
supervisors. I think they called them,
now. I think the assistants or the
something like that. Yeah.
white people in suits.
Yeah.
Now, but as I remember, my notes. I gotta get to my notes. JD's Revenge. Hang on, I'm unprepared.
But he ends up down there, and Bill Cosby is the proprietor of souls. I think that was his title.
Mm-hmm. Proprietor of Souls. Right.
But
now, when I have to say this,
Okay.
They show Elliot Gould falling into hell.
yeah, they do.
So you're 5 minutes into this film, and there's a shot of
Terrible blue
people
screen
screaming people plummeting into hell.
with him,
Right.
like all around him. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is the Disney's best kids movie since The Black Hole.
Not the Black Hole. Is it the Black Hole?
Black Hole is Disney.
Oh, I thought you. You know what? I thought you were going Black Cauldron because that
No.
was a dark animated film.
I'm saying
But you're-
Black Hole is
live
what-
action. Yes.
I'm talking about Black Holes. Is like you're watching a Disney film, you're wondering, where the fuck are kids supposed to be enjoying this?
Yeah.
And also when he falls down at the end, where they have like that long shot of like the people marching in the background, and there's like a tree with eyes in it and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I could think of is like, so Disney couldn't find any animators. It was like public access television animation.
Well,
And
what's funny about the movie?
Really?
and a lot of. Okay, what's interesting about the movie?
okay.
And movies like it that came out in that era, this could have easily have just been a made-for-TV film. There is nothing spectacular in any way about it. It all the way from the dialogue to the way it's filmed to the music used. It could have very well have just been a TV film. And I think in this era, a lot of films were made the exact same way with the same type of equipment and the same type of music. And it was just essentially the studio's decision to say, yeah, this is just good enough for theater. Put that on, NBC.
Well, don't forget, too, this is Disney in the 80s. This is before video rental stores.
Yeah.
This is before cable was, like, huge.
Right.
We're talking 80, 81.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're making these G-rated films and this PG-rated film, they're thinking, okay, this is going to be playing on television. That's the only other market. They're not pitching to streaming video and DVD sales. So they're filming it with television in mind.
Yeah, there are a lot of films that didn't do that though, and I think that's why they stand out today. And
No, but Disney,
movies like this just kind of disappear.
But at this time period, Disney was doing that a lot.
No,
That's my point.
I understand what you're saying.
Even the classics that you like Freaky Friday, if you go back then, by the way, same screenwriter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'll talk about the screenwriter in a minute because there's like interesting there.
Okay.
When you look at Freaky Friday and a lot of those Disney films back then, if you watch them now, they really feel like made-for-TV films, and that's the reason. They were made for the theater, but with the idea that they're going to play them on television for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
So they're
yeah, true.
Yeah, they're aiming for that market. And by the way, and also not only the hell screaming stuff, but the opening shot, the grain and the color of the film. Do you notice how gloomy it was?
Oh, yeah.
The whole film was shot in glumscope.
Yeah.
It was just like depressing. It was like glaucoma vision.
Before we get too much into film, I have a 30-second trailer. Do we want to play this?
Yeah, that'll take care of some of the plot for us there.
All right, let's play this. It's a 30-second trailer. We'll be right back.
Well, we'll still be here.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby is the devil.
Want a light?
Elliot Gould is a shady agent.
But I am very good luck, and I guarantee you will not fail.
And the record business is going to the devil.
Roses and rainbows, you better
They're
take
swapping soul for rock and roll.
I've never been to the Grammys.
The Devil and Max Devlin.
That's just the way we like them.
Rated PG. The Devil and Max Devlin now playing real hot.
It gets cut off at the end. It's only a 30-second spot. It's like the Devil and Max Devlin.
Now, how come the Film Society has not restored the original trailers of this film? Because this is a part of history.
I didn't look that hard, but I couldn't find anything that was longer than 30 seconds.
No, that's all they really have is like TV spots for it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Brazilian trailer, but I'm sure it's not in English. It's Mi Diablo.
Now, what was I just going to say? Play the trailer, the plot. I saw a lot of
We were talking
reviews.
about Hell.
Well, the plot. And
Yeah.
I saw a lot of reviews that said, "Oh, a take on the Faust legend," and it is not a take on the Faust legend. It's a take on the Devil and Daniel Webster.
For all of us that may not know, what is the Faust?
Faust. The basic idea of Faust is a man who sells his soul to the devil for the love of a woman. That's not the case here.
Yeah, that kind of comes into play later.
This is loosely based on the play or the story, which has been remade countless times, The Devil and Daniel Webster, where Daniel Webster sells his soul to the devil, and he takes the devil to court to keep his soul. And the twist at the end of that, which is nowhere in this film, is that he wrote a letter to his fiance or wife or girlfriend or whatever, where he said, I promise you my eternal soul," which means he wins by default.
Yeah, because he already promised it to somebody else.
Right, which means it's not that he's a good person, but just that, well, you suckered the devil.
Well, what's interesting is...
But I just hate that whenever a devil movie comes out, it's like, oh, it's Faust. No, it's not Faust. Just because there's a devil and souls are mentioned, it's not a fucking version of Faust. Sorry.
It's like years later, the film Bedazzled.
Yes.
The one with What's-Her-Face and Brendan Fraser.
Which
he gets wishes, but the way this film ends is the way that movie ends.
But that's also a remake of the Dudley Moore Peter Cook Bedazzled from the 60s.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah, it's a remake of a British film.
I never
Honestly,
saw it.
I prefer the remake more, and a lot of people hate me for that. But
I got to agree. I've never seen the original, but for some reason, I do like the film Bedazzled. For all intents and purposes, I should not like it.
Cocaine? What's a cocaine?
Yeah.
No, Brendan. I've always been a fan of Brendan Fraser. If you can ignore like Dudley Do Right and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
He does have great comic timing. He has a great talent when it comes to comedy.
Monkey Bone.
Ignore Monkey Bone, and he doesn't ruin that. It's that fucking SNL jackass whore ruins that.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to differentiate between them.
Oh, I know.
But sidetrack.
Back to the film. When they're down in hell.
Yeah.
Okay, and everybody is talking very robotically, I must add.
Oh, that voiceover? Where is that? In the 5th grade, he cheated on his spelling bee. I was like, son of a bitch, I knew it. The devil invented autotune. That's where this came from.
But when Elliot Gould is talking, when Bill Cosby is talking, when the supervisors, the accountants, whatever their names are talking, Bill Cosby is like, and you will bring us 3 souls. And it finally hit me. The reason why that was done that way was because they're doing voiceover. They took that scene, they took their voices, and they enhanced it, and then cut it back into the movie. Mm-hmm. And if they talked normally, none of it would have lined up right.
They all had that weird tint to the voices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So by them talking very much like this, it's much easier for them to enhance the audio and put it back into the film.
And I like the line where Elliot Gould says, "You want me to corrupt the souls of little kids?" It's like, dude, you're in a Disney film. Yes. What are you thinking about? I didn't look it up. I don't even know what's in IMDb. But when they send them back and he comes alive on the gurney while the ER guys are taking him, the orderlies, whatever you want to call them,
EMT.
The EMTs, fine.
Sure.
The black guy that's behind him, the one's like, "You were dead."
You just got hit by that bus.
Is that the crazy black guy from DC Cab?
Oh.
Does it look just like him? Maybe a bit heavier.
I have IMDb up for it.
I never looked. And it just occurred to me now. I never double checked that.
I can look it up real quick.
I'm already there. I don't think it's in there though.
If he's anything in the film, it's going to be like truck driver or EMT or
Orderly number 1.
What is his name?
Orderly number 1, Stu Gilliam.
Ooh.
And Super Globetrotters. What's happening? Quincy M.E. Dr. Black, Mr. Hyde.
Dr. Black.
Mr. Hyde. Well, yeah, Black exploitation. Apple Dumpling Gang rides again. He was the Black Cook. Typecast. Always typecast. No, he was not. He was not the crazy black guy in DC Cab.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
His last film was Meteor Man.
Ooh, that's Meteor Man.
Could have been worse. Could have been Ghost Dad.
What was Meteor Man?
Meteor Man. That was what's his name?
Not
that the black comedian that was like really popular for 2 years.
Oh, Damon Wayans?
No,
no, not Damon.
No, the
Wayans.
Wayans, Robert Townsend.
That's
Remember,
right.
Robert Townsend did Hollywood Shuffle, and all of a sudden he was the hot shit.
Yeah.
And he made a statement about blacks in entertainment, which I think was very accurate. And then he did a couple things. He did Meteor Man was his last big thing.
I think he was also producer on Amazon Women on the Moon and one of the writers as well.
Yes. That was around that time period. That was when you still had.
And I think he also did Kentucky Fried Movie too.
Did he? Was he involved in Kentucky Fried Movie?
I'm almost positive.
I don't think so.
Let's look.
But so they send Elliot Gould while you're looking that up. Elliot Gould to the Earth, and they say Bill Cosby, who plays Barney Devil, Barney Satan. He has to corrupt the souls of 3 specific children who he can access by thinking about them, and he gives them superpowers over them to speed the plot along. No real other reason for it. It's just to speed the plot along. And one of the kids, of course, is the little bastard child from 8 is Enough.
Oh really?
I mean, oh really? You watched the film?
8 is Enough.
Yeah, the kid from 8 is Enough.
That was a TV show, right?
Yes. The 8 is Enough was a TV show.
Yes,
Joey.
it was. Okay.
Yes, 8 is Enough, and he was a very, very famous child star, and also a very famous troubled child star. He started smoking marijuana at the age of 10, really? And he was in and out of jail repeatedly throughout his teenage years. He actually had to Dick Van Patten had to actually bail him out every now and then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was that bad.
Well, according to Robert
Adam
Townsend, okay. According to IMDb, Robert Townsend, I don't see him attached to Amazon Women on the Moon, and I would swear he was attached to that in some way.
That wasn't Robert Townsend. That was Townsend did Hollywood Shuffle.
No, I know that.
No, the other.
He was in the Warriors. He played Baseball Fury.
He was in the Warriors.
He played some dude named Baseball Fury.
Oh, I have to go back. The baseball. Team.
He was also in Streets of Fire.
He was one of the baseball guys.
Yeah, it says uncredited, but he was in it.
Everybody was uncredited. It was the Warriors.
He was in I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Well, yeah. No, but he really dropped off the face of the earth after Meteor Man. That was like the last one. He wasn't like the Wayans brothers. He didn't stick around doing shit.
Yeah, what the fuck? All right. I thought he was involved in Amazon Women on the Moon. I could swear I saw his name like a writing credit.
No, that was what's his name?
No, I know. Yeah, Arsenio Hall, but
Arsenio Hall, yeah.
But I could have sworn that he was attached to it. But okay.
Now he's also he has to corrupt the soul. He has to sell the soul.
Yes.
They say corrupt the souls, but he wants to do is sell the souls to hell. Get their contract that the souls belong to hell. Mm-hmm. So he has to get this little kid whose mother runs a daycare. The actress, by the way, who plays the mother, who's that? Julie Budd.
Yes.
She claims that her son was fathered by Jack Nicholson.
Really?
Yes. Not in print, but she has voiced that opinion that it is Jack Nicholson's child.
And has she ever gotten a DNA test?
I don't think so. No, I think she's never pushed it. It's like one of those things where she has said it, and has been quoted as saying it, but she has never publicly tried to do anything about it.
Got it. Is she still alive?
Oh, I think so. I think she was in something recently.
Because even back then, in that film, I mean, she looked good, but she looked like she was well into her 30s. I don't know, maybe she's just not aging well in that film, but she looked like a much older mom for that time period.
Wait a minute, not Julie Budd. I got the names turned around. I'm sorry, Susan Anspach. I apologize.
Who's Julie Budd?
Julie Budd is the young singer.
I'm trusting you on all this. Do I need to bring it up?
No, you don't. Susan Ann Sprague plays Penny Hart, which is the little Toby kid with the pig nose, his mother, who runs the daycare center.
Right.
Ugly little child. All the ugly little obnoxious child. He's supposed to be cute. He doesn't. He looks like a ventriloquist puppet that's been animated, but not completely.
So
Get that creepy look. Julie Budd, my mistake, was Stella Summers. She's the singer. She's the young teen girl who becomes a singer who's not pretty.
Who's just might as well be Barbara Streisand.
Right. And you know what the really funny thing is about that?
What's that?
I'm watching the film. So Elliot Gould tracks down these kids and inserts himself into their lives.
Right.
He finds little Toby, I think 8-year-old Toby,
Something like that.
at the amusement park, starts buying him candy and rides, and says, "Call me Uncle Max."
That's right.
This is a Disney film.
You would swear.
Disney film.
Right.
I'll take you home to see my mother now. Just call me Uncle Max.
I think there's other films that have been made about that, and usually it's for pedophilia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so then he goes to the young teenage girl who he first sees in the bathroom, by the way, who looks like Barbara Streisand, and I'm thinking, okay, the little boy's calling him uncle. She's going to be calling him daddy, which is bad enough.
Right.
She looks like Barbara Streisand.
A lot like Barbara Streisand. I think that's why these talent agencies and movie companies, they look for, it's like, you look like Barbara Streisand, let's try and make you a movie star. And from what I understand, she never really did anything again after this.
No, that's not. Well, she
did other things. But
obviously, she didn't blow
This was
up.
her big movie. This was her big movie.
But she did other stuff after this. I mean, she had a career. No, she had a career after this. I mean, she wasn't.
I've never seen her in anything other than this movie.
You don't have to. She wasn't a pop icon star, but she still had a career. She made money singing.
I think that's what the point was, though.
No, but all right, but she had a career. Just because she wasn't famous doesn't mean she doesn't have a career. You can be an actor and not be Brad Pitt. I don't want to belittle her career because I'm going to belittle a lot of other things about her.
Okay.
But not trying to be
like
mean.
The fact that we had to listen to her goddamn song 5 times. I counted 5 times in this movie.
I want to broach that in a separate topic.
Okay.
Because I want to complete here is the thought that I'm thinking she's going to be calling him daddy. And so I've got this whole sexual thing going in my mind of him seducing this young girl, and which I think the film would have been better instead of like having them sign over their souls, he actually corrupted them.
I think it
corrupted them. And
at one point in the film, she did get corrupted a little bit because Bill Cosby says, "Wow, it's like that's the way we like them."
But that's after she signed up for the contract and then changed her personality.
Yes.
I'm saying if he just like went in there and just taught her to be evil, and you could have taught her to be evil. Anyway, what makes it creepier is when you realize that Elliot Gould was previously married to Barbara Streisand.
Was he really?
Yes, he was. They sired a child together, and so you're watching this. Okay, yeah. Now there's a whole new level of creepy here.
Yes, there is.
Because this is how Barbara got her big break.
Oh.
I have no problem believing that Barbara Streisand sold her soul. That has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
So that adds a level to it, and then of course there's the young nerd that wants to be a motocross.
Oh yeah, where his mother walks in. It's like, what's keeping you up so late? Oh, I'm just reading the new Harvard Law Manual or whatever. It's fascinating.
Harvard Law Review.
Whatever.
They don't make law manuals.
Okay.
But Disney, of course, has their finger on the pulse of America. They knew all teenagers wanted to be dirt bike racers.
Although, in all defense, motocross was actually very big in the 80s.
I was about to say, you know what? I take it back. In the 80s, that actually could have been the case.
I mean, they dedicated. ESPN was showing motocross in prime time at one point.
Well, there's that line where Elliot Gould's like, well, he mentions the name of a motocross star, and like, well, like blah 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 blah, and the kid says, "Oh, really? You taught him?" "Oh, yes, I did." And I'm thinking, does that reference that actually resonated with anybody back then?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm like, I honestly don't know. For all I know, that back in 1981, maybe that was a name where you mentioned it. Oh yeah, him.
I should ask my cousin. He was huge into motocross in the 80s, and I should mention that name. And if he's like, oh yeah, I know that guy. And
I'm wondering if it was like mentioning like Dale Earnhardt now, or
Earnhardt.
Whatever, or the guy, the Tony Hawk for skateboarding.
Right.
Maybe I don't know what the Tony Hawk of motocross was.
Yeah, and I think the only reason why those names are more recognized today is because there's more mediums for them to be recognized from.
Also,
Back then you had, whatever it is, what was on TV, all 12 channels, and then newspapers and magazines. Nowadays,
also,
it's just everything.
1980, television TV shows,
Yeah.
as opposed to the other television shows. 80s was a huge period where every television show had motocross in it.
It's some way or another.
Knight
sure.
Rider, the Ninja one, all of them, and because it was talk about no budget. You'd go to any like Midwest state, and they would just show up in the desert, build a track, and people would come in and watch.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is bring the cameras. Okay, everybody, sign and release, and we're filming. There's like no budget involved.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's it.
Agreed.
Now you mentioned the music.
5 fucking times did we have to hear this song almost to completion.
No, every time to completion.
I don't know. I don't think she sang the song from beginning to end every time though.
I gotta point out. My first note, and I don't know if you noticed this when you were watching it. My first note was literally, not even kidding, no opening theme music. What up with that? And it's very noticeable, especially for a Disney film. There's no opening theme music. Elliot Gould parks his car, puts a ticket under it to avoid, because he's a bad guy.
Right.
And proceeds.
Although I thought that was a very ingenious way to do that.
It's really not, because I've seen cars with 3 tickets under them. That does not deter it. It's cute, but it doesn't make any sense.
I think for the time period, I would never do it now.
I disagree totally. Anyway. No, but I mean, for me, it was jarring. There's no soundtrack. There's no opening music. And if you go back, I'm pretty positive. I might have lost track every now and then. There's no soundtrack to the film. The only music in this film is this girl singing. And if you go to IMDb and look up the soundtrack, like I did, it lists 2 songs.
And you know what's funny?
There are 2 songs in this entire film.
And they're both hers.
And they're both her.
When the movie starts up, because I actually own the DVD of this. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was that funny.
That's a brave statement.
When it first comes up and you get the warning, no, do not copy or reproduce, and then in parentheses, or the soundtrack within. And I thought that was funny. Yeah.
Well, she won. I think, did she win an Emmy for that or something? She won something for the one song.
Did she really?
No Fool, I think. I could be wrong. That song was a very big hit, believe it or not. I think.
Well,
I was doing
now
some research.
Julie Budd would be.
Julie Budd, yes.
Let's see. On IMDb, it doesn't really show, because a lot of times it'll say, actress, and then it'll say awards or nominations. It doesn't have any of that. Her IMDb is very, very thin. But there's really nothing on it about her.
Right. I was doing some other research and reading some reviews. Maybe she didn't win an award, but she did something. That song was popular for some reason.
Because it sounded like every other song in the late 70s and early 80s.
She worked with a lot of people back then. I mean, it's the list. She worked with Frank Sinatra.
Really?
Yeah, she was singing at the age of 12.
It does say that on her IMDb that she did start her career very young.
I saw that somewhere else, but yeah, that's there too.
Yeah, she started at the age of 12, it says.
What the kick to teeth for me was at the end, where they go to see her sing, and the big thing is, will she be able to sing now that he doesn't have his magical powers to make her sing? And she sings the whole song, and then it goes into the end credits, and it's the song. What? No! It's like a cruel joke. We just got to the end, and we're sitting through the whole song, and then you get to the end credits. Elliot Gould looks up, rolls his eyes at God, and says, thank you.
He says, "Thank you very much." Yeah.
Right, and then and he's the only one that said that about this film. And then the credits roll, and it's her singing again all the way through the credits. They squeezed in one more hit of that song.
Now, we have to talk.
I was having flashbacks to Any Which Way But Loose.
Oh, God. I mean, there really isn't much to this film. There's these 3 storylines. of him just trying to have these three people, these three kids, sign over their souls. They all do at some point. I like the dirt bike kid. He goes, "Man, your handwriting's atrocious. How many times have I told you? It's spelled S-O-L-E, not S-O-U-L." And he goes, I'll correct it later. And he signs it, and then he gives them this look where he's like...
He turns to evil, yeah.
Where he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, what did I just do?
What I love about it is he only has 2 months to get these signatures.
Yeah.
So the girl, he makes a huge star, and he eventually has to wear a fake beard and get her to sign an autograph for him to get her signature.
Yeah, right?
It's like, well, you could have just, like... I mean, it should have... If he was truly an evil person... I mean, literally, the first week, telegram, sign here, please. That's it, done. I got you 3 souls. What can we do? What do you want to do for 7 weeks?
Yeah, you could have done that either way. It's like, oh, got your bike parts. Oh, I've been waiting for these. Here you go. And then with the kid, here's a box of candy, just came in. Oh, fantastic. You're right. He could have had it in a week.
But no, instead he's juggling 3. And he's juggling 3 soul corruptions simultaneously. No, you do one at a time. Because then you're gonna bouncing around. You got you too many fires burning.
Yep.
And Elliot Gould. Let's talk about the 2 lead actors, Elliot Gould and Bill Cosby. Elliot Gould, the perpetually frumpy, disheveled man. Mm-hmm. He never really reaches lovable. Neither does he reach detestable. He's like always somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at no point do you ever buy that he's actually evil, and at no point do you ever really buy, he's a changed man. No, he's still
a douche.
He's still gonna evict her for the parakeet. That's not.
After he fucks her.
He'll let the kids swim in the pool, but he's not paying for the paint job on the apartment. That's just.
That's right.
I mean, the character arc's not believable or anything.
Nah.
And then Bill Cosby. Whoever the genius was that said, let's put Bill Cosby in here because he's a great comic draw, and let's sell this as a huge rollicking comedy, and then let's just have Bill Cosby straight-faced, and all Bill Cosby will do is appear every 10 minutes and say, "You get the souls yet?
Right.
You got 4 weeks."
I love it when he comes in on the motorcycle or on the motocross bike, and he's like, just want to remind you that if they get out of your sight, your powers doesn't do anything for them. And the next scene is this kid wiping out on the bike.
It's just my favorite part was when they go to the fancy Hollywood dinner party after the girls like made it big.
Right.
And then Bill Cosby appears and he's doing the Jello pudding pop dance.
Yeah.
He's doing the pudding pop in the back. Oh, he's pudding popping. Twice he pudding pops. And then there's one point, I forget where else it is, where suddenly he just does a smile with the eyes, and pudding pops, and he goes back straight face.
That is great.
Yeah.
Gave us the chocolate cake.
And then he goes right back to straight face.
Yeah.
He goes from pudding pop to I Spy.
Right.
Like that. And I Spy was, you're already you're 2 decades past I Spy. You can't do the straight face anymore. Stop doing the pudding pop.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Did he have Jello pudding at that point? Or did he get that after he got caught?
He had that back in the 70s. No, he had that back in the 70s when he was doing picture pages after picture pages, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was doing don't forget Fat Albert. I mean, he was still big.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure pudding pop stuff was back in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Even before Cosby. I think. I did not do research on that, but I'm pretty sure. And I know Ghost Dad lost him the Coke account. So he was doing Coke for a while.
Yeah, he was doing Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I don't think Jello dropped him for that.
No, they didn't.
He did Jello with the pudding pops.
And as a matter of fact, I don't see Jello commercials anymore. I don't know if there's such an established product at this point that they don't need advertising of any kind. Because when you go to the supermarket, it's synonymous. You know what it is.
This is a tangent that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I'm going to weigh in on it anyway.
Okay.
And say the reason is because there are so many disgusting snack foods at the market now. Jello is fine with the Jello brand gelatin being used as a baking product. They don't even sell it as a treat anymore.
Okay.
The company, whatever conglomerate company, since like all the food companies are owned by 3 people now, whoever owns Jello is selling some other kind of shitty snack food to kids, and it's okay, and they'll buy this to bake, and they'll buy this to make stuff. They know it's there. So you're right. Yeah, it's established. They don't need to advertise it. And there's nobody else making gelatin. just Knox, and they don't even do flavors.
Yeah, there's knockoffs.
There's not Knox, the brand, and KNOX. This is we're
I
getting
thought
too much into food.
Yeah, we are.
Speaking of Bill Cosby, he keeps appearing in costume.
He keeps appearing in a leather suit.
He appears in a leather suit. When they're at the diner, he appears in a hard hat and a flannel shirt. Yeah. When they're at the dance party, he appears in like a suit, like a leisure suit.
Yeah.
Nobody can see him but Elliot Gould. Why is he showing up in costume? This shouldn't bother me, but it does, because he's sitting there. The first time you see him on Earth, he's wearing the hard hat and the flannel, and he's telling Elliot Gould, "No one can see me but you." I think, then why are you wearing a hard hat? And why isn't Elliot asking him if he's wearing a hard hat? Or why he's wearing a hard hat? Just call me Uncle Max.
Uncle Max.
I love the calculator on his desk.
Calculator?
Calculator. Or the adding machine. Adding machine.
I didn't notice it.
You didn't notice it?
I watched most of this in my car.
The thing was bigger than my monitor.
I watched most of it in my car.
He's got a huge adding machine on his desk at the hotel. Mm-hmm. And it's literally like a foot across, and the measuring the printout tape coming out of the center is like 2 inches wide.
Oh God!
So there's like 10 inches of just pure button machinery behind that 2 inches of paper. It's like the most advanced technology in the film.
Wow!
I love it. I thought of you when I saw that. Every time I see outdated technology in films, I think of you.
You always think of me?
Always think of you.
That's funny.
Now
No,
Bill Cosby as the Goat Man. We have to talk about
I was just going to bring that up. I said before I give you my challenge.
Yeah, because
we have to bring up Bill Cosby in full makeup Goat Man.
You almost mentioned that at the beginning of the show. It's like, dude, don't shoot the wad now. This is the big thing. This is where, just when you think the film can't get any more just incomprehensible, all of a sudden there's Bill Cosby bare-chested.
They didn't have him even shave his chest either.
No, bare-chested. He's got like the orange fur down his legs, and
right.
I'm assuming cloven hooves. You can't see that part. And he's got like he's a satyr. He's got the furry arms. He's got the horns. He's got like the goatee going.
He's got the black makeup on his eyes and his mouth and the nose and all that, with the fucking crazy hair.
Right, that orange curly kind of satyr hair.
Right,
and he's really you will feel the pain. You were doing.
You will not know pain. Like, I swear he was doing his act from Bill Cosby himself when he was imitating his wife.
The conniption fit, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you will go downstairs and make your children breakfast. I just... Because he didn't do Bill Cosby himself until, I think it was that year as well, he did Bill Cosby himself. Mm-hmm. He did it right before he got the Cosby Show.
Right.
Because the Cosby Show is based off of that stand-up.
Yeah. Well, it was based off all his older stand-up, too. He always did stuff about his wife. He always did stuff about his kids.
Right.
So that wasn't anything new.
Well, I think at that point in time, all of his kids were born.
Right. But you know what I'm saying.
I do understand.
Always did that. And that scene threw me for a minute. I was like, did Bill signed off on this?
Yeah.
Bill,
it's better than Level 4.
This film cannot be better than Level. That's how they should have sold it. But Devil and Max Devlin, it's better than Level 4. Trust us, it's better than Level 4. And that's an inside joke to the film. I'm not even explaining it.
Yeah.
There are two quotes to the film that I found doing my research. Mm-hmm. One is on IMDb, one is not. The one that's on IMDb, and I found it elsewhere, but it's also on IMDb, is that Elliot Gould, at some point, I can't find the source, but apparently at some point he said, this is one of the best films I've ever been attached to. Now, granted, he did a lot of weird, wacky,
and remember, folks, he had already done MASH.
Yeah, better than MASH. Way better than MASH. Better than Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice? Okay, maybe. Better than MASH?
Not better than MASH.
And he did, if you look at his record, he did a lot of films in the 70s. Right. That were like you never hear about them again. I actually had to look one up because I remember seeing the film as a kid, where he was a professor that found a letter by George Washington, And all I
I
remember,
think I vaguely remember that.
yeah, and all I remember from the film is he found bugs in his house. They broke 2 of his fingers, and at the end, he eats the letter in an operating room. That's all I remember. But he made all these films that are just so forgettable because it was just your typical 70s like spy plots with
Right.
with too much sex but not enough sex. And yeah, he this is the film he hung his hat on then. During the filming. This is one of the best films I've ever been in.
Was
And-
this also close to the end? Not the end of his career, but he kind of cooled off after this movie, didn't
Well,
he?
yeah, and one of the thoughts behind that is he was very popular with the college anti-establishment crowd.
Right.
And I read one article that theorized that what happened was when Nixon won his second term as president, the anti-establishment crowd kind of was starting to cool down, and with that, he lost his icon status with that group, where he wasn't like this big rebel anymore. Okay. So he was. So they said when they hired him for this film, not this film, The Long Goodbye, which is one of my favorite films.
Oh, really?
You've seen The Long Goodbye, right?
I don't know.
Add it to your list, sir.
All right, I'll do that.
The Long Goodbye. When he did that, he spent like 6 months. He couldn't get a job. No one was hiring him.
No kidding.
Yeah, and that was I think that was shortly after Devil and Max Devlin. It was that time period where just no one was hiring him, and they think that's why, because there was that drop off on the country stopped rebelling. Okay. They were finally done with the whole rebelling thing, and and then the 80s became just the whatever. You remember the 80s?
Yeah, I remember it well.
Pretty much just we're here.
He did The Long Goodbye in 1973.
73. All right.
So it's 8 years
before.
Yeah, 8 years earlier.
I'm sorry, I got my time frames mixed up. When he did that, he was cooling off with that. So by the time he got to Max Devlin, he was already past that point where he was no longer that icon.
Right.
And that's where he's doing shit like this. I apologize.
Yeah, he did MASH in 1970.
Right, and that's where he was at the height of the anti-establishment. Because that was the anti-Vietnam War.
Wow, I didn't know that movie was that old.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah.
The other quote was Bill Cosby. There was I found it in Jet magazine. Every time I do stuff on Bill Cosby, half my research ends up going to Jet magazine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. And that's not even a joke. It's real.
Well, I mean, he was one of the most powerful black comedians, actors, whatever you want to.
I just don't want you to think I was making a lame attempt at humor. That's just true.
Okay.
And apparently, one of the reasons he took the film was because the devil was always in Hollywood films. The devil was always represented by a white man, and so he would be the first black man to represent the devil in a Hollywood film. Oh. And I don't know if that's a step forward
or a step back.
And I'm still not sure. I know the movie was a step back. I don't know if his portrayal of a black Satan was a step. And I'm not even sure if that's true, that it was the first representation of a black Satan.
There was no blaxploitation films that did it?
That's what he said. There was no black people had ever played Satan.
And there hasn't been many since either.
No, and blaxploitation may not count towards like mainstream Hollywood too, which Mike was thinking about. I mean, so there's that. And I really have a problem with the nerdy kid being named Nordlinger.
Nordlinger.
Nerve Nordlinger. Yeah.
What did he do? Has he done anything?
I don't know. I gave up my research with it. After I read all the stuff about Toby, I was like, oh, I can't. Oh, the poor kid. Marijuana smoking at the age of 10. Man,
he was in Total Recall?
Yeah. Oh, he did stuff afterwards.
Oh, he was one of the doctors. But he was ready to inject him. He was one of those doctors.
See,
that's right. He goes, yeah, we hardly ever fuck up around here. He was that guy.
I recognize him. I think he did other.
Holy shit!
Did he do other Disney stuff too back then?
I have him in front of me right now. He did. Let's see if anything.
Turner and Hooch.
He did Turner and Hooch. Spring Break. Oh my.
I'm thinking go back to like 70s though.
He hasn't done anything in the 70s. He got his start in 1980.
He looks. I guess that's why I hired him. He looks like every other nerdy kid.
He's your quintessential nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's totally your quintessential nerd.
He played Claude in Splash. I have no idea who Claude is in Splash.
I don't.
I'm just reading lists off the IMDb right.
Last thing he did was in 2003 as an actor.
I mean, I don't have much else to add to this. All I can say is, and I already spilled my beans on that. My taking out the trash would just be the idea that if you started off where Elliot Gould actually was, you still there?
I'm here.
I thought it dropped off.
No.
If Elliot Gould actually was the kind of guy that's like stealing the welfare checks from the elderly people living in his retirement community, and was evil enough to actually go to hell and not just, oh, gee, he's just a jerk.
Right.
And when he came back, instead of having the signing off the souls, actually had to take these 3 kids and corrupt them by his own means. Like teach the little Toby to be an evil little bastard, right, and seduce the girl and pretty much sell her to the music industry, and take this nerdy kid and teach him to be an asshole because only the assholes get the girls, and corrupt them. And then at the end, the end of this should have been like the ending of Kids, where nothing's solved, everything's gone to shit, and then there's just him sitting there, like maybe with the young girl with Barbara Streisand lookalike,
right,
like OD'd the death on the edge of his bed, half naked. He's just sitting there. What happened? What happened? And then the big kick is at the end. He gets Barney's job, and Barney gets to go to heaven. I found someone worse than you. I'm free. A little bite to it. It wouldn't be a Disney film, but it'd be a good movie.
Right. Have you seen on its IMDb? Have you seen the shitty? And again, this doesn't bother me that much, but just because it is a bad film. But have you seen the DVD cover that they used, where they essentially took a picture of 2 people from a looking down shot and just photoshopped each of their heads on these bodies?
Yeah.
And Bill Cosby is doing the pudding pop face.
The pudding pop.
The jello pudding.
Well, look at the original movie poster.
Camille. The original poster, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
I have it on the wiki page.
Now, which one? The animated or the live action poster?
It's the one that I'm looking at is definitely drawn.
Okay, because there's also
it's the one where Bill Cosby has horns and he's got a red cape with it's collared, a collared red cape.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now there's also the other one that's I guess it's more of a VHS cover, but it's the one where it's just a photo. It's not a picture appearing from the film, but it's those 2 standing in front of flames.
Okay.
They're both photoshopped out of the movie and put in front of the flames. So it's a little better than the one you're talking about.
Okay, I have it right in front.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what's funny? I'm looking at like the old clamshell boxes that Disney used to have. Those were the really big ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I can guarantee you at some point this was a rare film that was worth money.
Oh yeah.
If you could have gotten this film with the original clamshell case, I guarantee you could have sold it on eBay for like $100 or $200.
Especially if you got the one with the dildo in the background.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a reference.
What's funny?
That's a reference to The Little Mermaid for those of you who don't know.
Yes, I know.
No, I'm sorry, but not you.
Yes,
I know you know, but now I have to explain the obscure
everyone
reference
should go do a search for The Little Mermaid and turn off your safe search.
Just go to Google, type in Little Mermaid dildo, and then don't be surprised when you end up on lists.
I did a search for the Devil and Max Devlin, and they have that picture of Bill Cosby as sadist guy or satyr guy.
See, that's gonna be my new wallpaper now. Do they have a big copy of it?
It's big enough.
Oh, that's my new wallpaper.
Well, you know what?
Screw it.
Yeah, that'll be good enough for wallpaper. It'll stretch out, but it'll be good enough.
That's my new Facebook icon. Who am I kidding? That's it. Well, there's really not much to add to the movie. It's boring.
Oh, it's very boring.
It tries to go for that Disney charm. There's nothing charming about the film. There's nothing charming about the kids. There's nothing charming about Elliot Gould. There's really nothing charming about Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby doesn't even appear at the end after Elliot Gould wins, by default, I guess.
Right.
He doesn't show up at the end and go, "Hey, well, you beat me, ha ha ha." It's just that's it. No more Bill Cosby. So it's pretty much after he shot the satyr scene, he went home. It was just no. I put on the furry pants and I was bare chested. That's it. I'm fucking done. But I do have to mention one more thing.
What's that?
As always, I check out the screenwriters because that's very important to me.
Okay.
And there's 2 screenwriters listed for The Devil and Max Devlin.
I actually didn't look at any of this because it has nothing to do with your challenge. Usually, I'll do homework for your challenge, but
well,
I'm
I'm a researcher, so when I watch a film, I have to go and do the research. And so I'm looking at Mary Rogers and Jimmy Sangster. Both have story credits, and Mary Rogers has a screenplay credit. Mary Rogers really only wrote one other screenplay, which is I just mentioned it.
Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday, and
Which is another Disney movie.
Right, and she around the same time period, maybe a little bit earlier or later.
76, about 5 years earlier.
5 years earlier, but still that same time period where they're making them for television as well as the big screen.
Yep.
And of course, her name's attached to the remakes that came afterwards. Jimmy Sangster, I'm looking at it, it's like, that name sounds familiar. I recognize Jimmy Sangster's name. Last year, I wrote a foreword to a novel reprint for Idea Men Productions that was not released because the economy kind of hit the book place, book marketplace hard. So we kind of held off on it. I did a foreword for a novelization for the 1959, I believe, movie Jack the Ripper.
Okay.
And that was written by Jimmy Sangster. Jimmy Sangster is...
Oh, yeah, there it is, Jack the Ripper. I have his name up now.
Jimmy Sangster is one of the major screenwriters for Hammer Studios. He wrote some of your classic Hammer films. He was a huge Hammer film screenwriter.
Look at that.
And he wrote screenplays. He came out with a biography called "Do You Want It Good or Tuesday," which I don't have a copy of yet because I'm trying not to pay for it. I'm trying to get it for free.
Okay.
So because I'm a cheap bastard. But and that he died back in 2007, I think, 2009. But if you read his bio,
he died August 2011.
11. That's right. The book came out in 2007.
Very recent.
Right. He accidentally became a screenwriter. He wasn't a screenwriter, but they said, "Oh, write a screenplay, and if you like it, we'll print it, we'll use it." And after that, he was doing nothing but screenwriting. And again, classic Hammer films. A lot of The Blood of Dracula. I could list a bunch of them.
Right.
And then eventually, his last screenplay he ever wrote for the big screen was The Devil and Max Devlin.
Okay.
Now, the only reason I'm getting into this, besides the fact that I was really psyched when I saw it, it's like, oh wait, I already did research on this guy because I wrote a foreword for a book that based on him. I forget. I don't think he wrote the novelization, but that's neither here nor there. He was a classic, as I said, Hammer film screenwriter. Can you imagine what his original story concept was?
Oh, yeah, they probably fucking changed that completely around.
I know I kind of took a long way to get there, but I just wanted to spell that out, my thought process there.
What are the odds of...
What are the odds? Classic Hammer film screenwriter, this is his last fucking film. It's almost like Bill Cosby, like everything he touched died.
Yeah.
Sidney Poitier's last directing film, Jimmy Sangster's last screenwriting film, all of them linked to Bill Puddin' Pop Cosby, who was not only death to his own career, but so many others.
What do you think the odds of getting the original screenplay for the Devil and Max Devlin is? Do you think that you could get something like that?
No, but since he gets... I don't know if there was. It is possible, and I need to get the book now because I guarantee there's at least one page on this movie because it's about his entire writing career. But either there was a first screenplay, and then Mary Rogers just redid it, or they pitched the idea together, and then he either backed out or the project was taken from him.
I see.
So there's so many different ways that he could have gotten a story credit. He could have just came in and said, "Well, you should do this," and he probably as long as you change a certain. If you get a script and you change a certain percentage of that script, where you leave your mark on it,
right.
It's the Screenwriters Guild rules. You have to have a credit.
Oh, okay.
That was
all right. So
that was like the whole cliffhanger thing. Where it passed through 10 hands, like they wrote it so many times. But the one guy's like, you know what? It was still my idea. He's still climbing a fucking mountain. I get a story credit. I think that one actually went to court.
And he won.
Right, because it's like, I don't care how far removed you got it. He's still got a pickaxe in his hand. It's my fuck. I get a fucking story credit. They're touchy about that. So I don't know how much involvement he has. I need to do more research on that. But I found it very interesting, and I would just love to find out if he had anything more sinister in mind.
Sure, I bet he did.
Yeah.
Writing Hammer movies? Come on.
Mm-hmm. I can't think of anything more sinister than sleeping with Barbra Streisand.
Old Babs herself.
Can we make the song from this movie like the official song of Moviesucktastic now? We need to play that at the end of every episode.
Oh God.
Oh. But we ran a bit long.
We did run a little long.
Yeah, we're at an hour, right?
Hour and 36 minutes.
Oh, let's wrap it up, sir. This was supposed to be a short episode.
Well, I got to give you my movie challenge.
Oh, see, I was hoping to get around that.
No, I don't think so. Although I don't know how much you're going to hate this challenge. I remembered I have not seen this movie in 20 years.
You know what? When I challenged you to Max Devlin, I was like, I saw this. Oh, but that's what I didn't mention. I distinctly remember I was taken to a theater to see this film as a kid.
No way.
Yes, because I remember being in the theater, and I remember being totally bored and not liking it because Bill Cosby was not funny and he was not there.
He wasn't funny.
And I don't know which one of my parents thought it was. Maybe it was even like a babysitter. Who knows? I don't know who decided that this was an ideal film for a kid, but whoever it was, Disney tricked them.
No kidding.
Yeah. So when I recommended it to you, I had not seen it since I was in a theater and a child.
Right.
For all I knew, it could have been kind of funny. I just knew it was an kind of obscure film now because you don't hear about it anymore.
Right.
You know, I think there's another if you look up Jimmy Sangster, it was just like Bill Cosby with Ghost Dad. He then went to Hollywood and wrote films such as blah 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 blah. Didn't mention Max Devlin, which he really didn't. He got its credit, but he didn't write it. So that's
right.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, they can't all be totally suck jobs, you know.
Yeah.
As long as they're bad, even if we like them, they have to be bad. That's all.
Yes. So anyway, the way I chose this, didn't do director, actor, screenwriter, or anything. I did theme again.
Oh, dude, you're awesome.
All right, I did theme again.
Okay.
And it is.
Hold on, you gonna give me a guess?
I'm gonna give you a guess.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say it is.
What's the theme?
The theme is hell.
Hell. Okay.
Yeah, it takes place in hell.
The film takes place in hell.
Well, what happens is it's a fight for your life. You have to get from one point to another point type scenario.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And if this character doesn't do that, his soul and the love of his life, their souls will be taken by the devil.
Dungeon Master?
Not Dungeon Master.
Oh, not Highway to Hell.
It is Highway to Hell.
Oh, dude, I got it. Wow. if I remember correctly, that is the film in which Gilbert Gottfried plays
Hitler.
Hitler. Sir,
Yeah.
kudos to you. Now, was it now? Hold on a minute.
Thank you. Yeah.
Was this actually released in a theater?
Yes, it was. It was
Okay.
released March 13th, 1992.
All right, I remembered it on video, but I didn't remember it being advertised.
I remembered it on video myself, and it was only released in 3 countries, and that's the Netherlands on June 19th, 1992, the United States on March 13th, 1992,
As long as that a U.S. release, that's all that
and
counts.
in Australia, November of 1991.
Interesting. Highway to Hell, eh?
And I have a feeling it was a very limited release in the U.S. because then it went straight to Cinemax.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now what I remember. Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
I remember Gilbert Gottfried, of course, as Hitler, and Janine Garofalo at the same table.
Yeah.
Says like, "But you're Hitler's," and I am not Hitler. I don't know what you're talking about. It's funny. I love Gilbert Gottfried. I mean,
Ben Stiller and Jerry Stiller are both in it.
Oh, they are. I don't remember that.
I'm looking at its IMDb. Ben Stiller plays Pluto's cook and Attila the Hun, and Jerry Stiller plays the desk cop.
I don't remember any of that. But what I do remember is Gilbert Gottfried. And it
That's
was-
obviously why Janine Garofalo was in it, because she's big friends with the Stillers.
Yeah, and I also remember that Gilbert Gottfried was in a nightclub when you meet him at a dinner table.
Yeah.
I remember Andy Warhol construction workers on the road, on the highway to hell. I remember a chase sequence with a bunch of Volkswagen Bugs, Beetles.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that you had to shoot the highway to hell cop in the sunglasses to kill him.
Yes.
That's all I remember. Everything else is a blur. So
I remembered really enjoying this film, and I'm so glad that this theme has come up so that I can rewatch it.
I don't remember enjoying it that much, but I do.
I really remembered enjoying it.
I remember liking it. I hesitate to say enjoying, but I remember it not sucking.
Yeah.
You know, where I was like, oh, that's kind of like the Andy Warhol thing. Is like, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I like that. Again, Gilbert Gottfried, a Jewish comedian playing Hitler. You can't beat that.
No, you can't.
So yeah, I will gladly take that from you, sir. Now you strayed from our Black History Month.
Sorry.
But you know what? By the time we review it, it will no longer be Black History Month. So
That is true.
Get a pass on that.
And I'm sure there's a black actor in there somewhere.
Oh, but not a lead. That's cheating.
Yeah.
I'll have to see what I have to start thinking about your challenge now. Then. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So you have just listened to a new episode of Moviesucktastic.
Episode 62. I'm gonna play the Julie Budd song to end the show.
Which one? I pity the fool from rags to riches. Well, it's funny. I heard the song 5 times and none of it stuck in my head either.
No, I know.
I was like, I don't remember a line from it. That's it. It was that good of a song. I heard it 5 times and I can't even think of a line. What was the name of this? Pity Fool? There's Fool. There's Fool in there. It's something Fool.
It's something like "I Will Always Love You" or it wasn't.
As You're a Fool. There's a fool in there somewhere. You can listen to us on iTunes.
Yeah, listen to us on iTunes. What is wrong with the goddamn audio? It's ruining it.
Who, me?
No, with this goddamn song.
You're ruining it. You're doing it wrong. You can listen to us on Zune. Yes, Zune still.
Zune.
iTunes, Zune, Podcast Pickle.
Podcast Pickle is still there.
Podcast Pup.
Podcast Pup is still there too.
Okay. Mevio. We're back on Mevio.
We are back.
Dude, leave me hanging here.
I'm trying to do this.
We're back on
All right.
Mevio, and because Mevio pointed out the fact that they're a video site and we do an audio podcast.
That's right.
He said, "Listen, fine, we're gonna do video." So starting with the Oscar show, and hopefully for every episode past then, we will be doing video of the show.
Right.
So you get the gaze upon my visage and Joey's mug while we're talking about bad movies. I will even wear a hat.
You gonna bring your hat?
I'm gonna wear it. It depends what hat I bring. Maybe the mask. Who knows? But
Hey, whatever works.
But we're hoping to turn this into a video podcast as well. We'll probably have both choices. We'll see. I don't think we'll put the video up on iTunes. I think we'll just do Mevio. But Mevio, iTunes, Podcast Pickle, Zune. You can get us on Stitcher on your Stitcher enabled device or
That's right.
Android phone. You can get us on what else, Joey? Moviesucktastic.com. You can go there.
Listen to us right from the site.
Right from the site. If you join the Moviesucktastic Facebook page, we post the audios there, and you can listen to it streaming off your Facebook page while you poke people.
This song ain't working. I'm sorry. I'm going
Neither
with the
are you.
regular. I'm going with the three. I'm going with the regular theme music.
If you want to call us, you can call us at
908-514-4470.
one more time. That's
908-514-4470.
because I refuse to memorize a phone number anymore.
I know. What the hell's wrong with you? And that's obviously why you didn't call us from California.
That's not the only reason I didn't call. I was also like in misery, ready to shoot myself in the head to let the pressure out, and I was eating cow throats. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sweetbreads.
Yes, and the wine was free when you stopped by to look at the place. And so listen to us. Come to Moviesucktastic. There's a whole. If you go to Moviesucktastic.com or BadMovieDay.com, that will also take you to the same place because we're doubling down.
That's right.
Go there, whichever one's easier for you to spell. Go to that site, and all of our links are there. Or go to smichaelwilson.com and see what Scott's doing lately, because Scott's up to some shit, believe it or not.
Believe it or not, baby.
Believe it or not, Scott has been up to some shit. And that is us. I am Scott. That is Joey. We're the movie guys. And just remember, things will get better, even if the movies don't.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
All right. We'll talk to you next week.
Toodles.
Actually, we'll talk to you on Sunday.
Talking at Sunday. Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
live.
You know what? But by the time they hear this, the Oscars will already. When you posted this?
I'm hoping to post this tomorrow morning.
Okay. If you're listening now, before Oscars, tune in. Where could we send them that they could listen to us live while what are we doing?
I think I'm going to post a link right on Facebook.
Go to our Facebook page, and we will post a link to our live stream feed or whatever we do for a video, and watch us for live Oscar coverage. We'll be drinking nonstop, and we'll be reviewing nonstop until we're talking the way I'm talking right now. Do it.
It's going to be good.
Do it, because it's either that or listen to Ben Stiller make asinine jokes and
about Avatar.
Trust me, you're better off just listening to us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fucking A right.
Fuck Ben Stiller.
Fuck him.
That's right.
All right. I'm tired. Let's go to bed. No, not together. But separately.
Dude, I will be there in 45 minutes. Keep the covers warm.
There's no problem there. All right. Talk to you next week.
I've been told that some.
Talk to you Sunday. I feel like I'm drunk already.
Well, you are. Rum and Mountain Dew, people.
Rum and Mountain Dew. Tastes just like cream soda and will fuck you up without you noticing.
And if you put enough sugar in champagne, it tastes like ginger ale.
Yeah.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.